Hello and welcome back to the Formula Trout Sprint Series, and you join us just in time for qualifying for round 6 of season 6 in said Sprint Series, and you join us at the Donington circuit. What a track this is, nestled away in the English countryside, one of the finest in the British Isles, and we're going racing here today for 2 races, and it's sure to be amazing. You join myself, Ross McIntyre, and the literal reincarnation of Christ himself, Alex Cochrane, alongside me. Alex, we're here at Donington. Steven Stevenson's on a roll in the championship at the moment. Can anyone stop him?
Yes, I hope so. Hello everyone, glad to be here again for another round of the Sprint Series. I hope someone can stop Steve Stevenson. He's been doing an absolutely fantastic job so far throughout the season, which is a bit annoying because it kind of takes the challenge, not the challenge. You know, who's going to win is what we want to know, and it seems to be Stevenson. But Niemann is fast here. It's a track that a lot of people here have raced at before. It's been in a lot of past Sprint Series. I think the last time we ran this car, the Dallara F317, we ran this track. R2 raced here. He might have even won one of the rounds as well, so do not count him out. It's good to see him back on track as well, because he missed the last few rounds too.
Absolutely great to have him here with us. As I said, 4 minutes left in this qualifying session, on board with R2 Niemann as he makes his way through those famous corners, down up the Craner curves and into the old hairpin, and then quickly back out of it. Around here, the Dallara F317 is almost flat out blast the entire way around the circuit. The only real braking zones are down into turn 1 and down coming into the final hairpin of the chicanes and all of those. So, yeah, it's a very, very quick track. Should be very exciting though. Steven Stevenson, of course, a clean sweep last time out. He took up both race wins. And, well, continues his championship dominance. He is 68 points clear now of Thomas Barbary, who's currently sitting in provisional 4th. Maxi Yinger makes his return after missing round 5 at Spa. He has won one race this season at Monaco and a few podiums, but it's more a bit about consistency for good old Maxi rather than out-and-out pace at the moment. But hopefully he'll be able to find his form once again here at Donington, currently sitting in P3 as R2 Niemann goes just over a tenth behind Steven Stevenson to put himself on the front row of the grid. On board with Thomas Barbary, get himself the best run possible for the final hairpin. Just the throttle in that 28 Yinger GP machine, and now here we go. Let's go for an on-board lap with the French machine. You want to clip your wheel over the pit exit. Of course, that's a bit of a problem if anyone's coming out there, but it's qualifying, so no one should be. Don't want too much curve on the exit of the opening corner. And now the Craner curves flat out through into 6th. It's a quick bang into 5th. Flat out blast through the hairpin. And then back into 6th on the run through Starkey's Bridge and McLean, one of the trickiest corners on the circuit. It's a lot tighter than you think it is. And drivers all over, you can't really see that all around here. Now the run up the crest and on the brakes into Coppice. Very tricky corner, but again, very, very fast. You want to try and use as much track as you can through that. Now down the back straight away, banging to the top of the rev limiter and then braking for the left-right flick through the chicane. Oh, a little bit too much through the chicane. A little bit of track limits there. The set, of course, seems to think it's okay. Again, in real life, that would have been ripping the underfloor out of the car alongside all of the electronics and possibly breaking your spine on the curbs as well. But luckily, we're in a set, of course, and not in real life, so we can maybe push the limits on what's realistic a little bit, as much as we all love this sim. Now, the final corner, a little bit of an apex than you'd expect, and a flat blast to the line of 118.3 to be for Barbary. He will not quite achieve that lap time, and he will not improve on that run, and it appears that he actually did have his time invalidated because of the off-track, which would explain a lot. So he's now been demoted down to 5th place, thanks to Jaap Wagenvoort going up into P4. I've got a minute and 13 left in this qualifying section as that's Antoine Bunn off into the gravel at the exit of the first corner. You can get stuck in there, so you don't want to end up in there at the on the opening lap, to say the least. Yeah, gravel traps around here in Donington in Assetto Corsa are brutal, to say the least. But Stevenson still on a roll, still on a lap as well. He will get one more effort in if he feels like he's got the time to do so. 18.3 was the time of the line last time. Doesn't look like it's going to be any faster this time, and no, it's not, but he will go for another tour of the circuit. And wow, really using all the track there off into the pit lane. That is aggressive from Stevenson, and using all of the track and then some on the exit of turn 1 as well. This is the man who's been dominating the sprint series so far this year, and looking to continue that streak here today at Donington, flying through the old hairpin flames, spitting out to the back of the Dallara F317, the Unger GP machine on the absolute limit, as Stevenson continues to fly around Donington. Will it be an improvement on his previous time? R2 Niemann is just under 3/10 off Stevenson. In sim racing terms, is light years ahead of everybody else at the moment. Checkered flag is now out at Donington. And then again, look at how much curb he's using. Stevenson is very, very committed at the moment, and he is looking ferocious out on track. And makes his way down into the penultimate hairpin. Very, very tricky corner, going downhill hard, not to lock up there. Stevenson.
I think he's back off.
Oh, he's run out of fuel. Yeah, Stevenson out of fuel, so he's not going to be able to finish this lap. Oh, it's better, but it looks like it should be okay anyway. Maxi Young is still on the lap though, so we'll follow Maxi Young as he comes down into the penultimate corner. Rotation could be a little bit better, as Jan Wagenvoort's had a bit of a spin on the final corner. Does the right thing, reversing out of the way. Yeah, the flags will be out, as Younger a little bit tentative on the throttle, still loses the rear in these cars. The rear is almost stuck to the floor, very hard to get around. It is an improvement. It puts Younger up to P3 at the checker flag. A 118.742 puts him 0.4 of a second off of his teammate Stevenson, who looks once again to be untouchable here at Donington. That'll be it for your qualifying session. Stevenson on par with R2 Niemann in P2, Maxi Younger P3, Jaap Wagenvoort in P4, Thomas Barbary is P5, Vannet is P6, Radocha in 7th, Antoine Bunn in 8th, Siprenstoin is 9th, Draper is 10th, and De Groot is rounding out our field of 11 cars here today. Stevenson and Alex, another dominant qualifying session for him. He is looking ferocious once again. He had 2 wins last time out at Spa. He's looking to continue that form here today.
Yeah, it's a big margin, especially at a track like this. You know, Donington Park, it's a track a lot of people are quite familiar with, so, you know, the times are usually quite close. And there isn't really that many places. There is places to gain time, but at the same time, it's a bit like Austria, you know, in the Formula 1 races, where the splits around here are usually very, very close because of the nature of the corners, you know, high-speed corners. If you kind of get it wrong or you get it right, and there's no in-between, really. So to see, you know, 3/10 between Niemann and Stevenson is quite a lot. Well done to Stevenson to get pole by that margin. The rest of the field a lot closer together, though. Younger and Niemann, you know, they can expect some battles between them potentially. I'm sure Younger will have the race pace to be able to keep up with that top pair as well, starting on the second row of the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that is the end of a fantastic qualifying session there. We are a few moments away from the first race here at Donington. Hello and welcome if you are just joining us to the 6th round of the Formula Trout Sprint Series, the 6th season of the Sprint Series as well. Great to see the Sprint Series continuing all of this time. Again, Formula Trout still very much alive and kicking after so many years at the top of Assetto Corsa sim racing, and it's great to see such a great turnout here, as always, in the Sprint Series. Of course, if you are new to Formula Trout, this is the first time you are tuning in, hello and welcome. It's a pleasure to be bringing you all of the action here in here at Donington, and we can't wait to get started. Can't wait to bring you all of the fun stuff to look forward to. Alex, what are your predictions heading into race 1?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say that Stevenson is gonna go wide at turn 1, and everyone's gonna go through, and he's gonna finish 20th out of 11 cars. But I think my actual prediction, I think Stevenson will take this, and I'm sure the battle behind might be quite exciting, but, you know, a track like this is quite difficult to overtake. A lot of high-speed corners, not many heavy braking zones, and the ones that there are, it's difficult to follow through, you know, fast chicane leading up to a braking zone. So It should be a good race, I'm sure, especially in the midfield. But I think at that front, the edge that Stevenson had in the qualifying, I think that will translate to race pace as well.
We'll have to wait and see what is going to unfold here in race 1. Moments away from the lights going out. It is Stevenson on the pole. R2 Neiman lines up alongside him. Max Younger in P3. The revs are rising as we wait for the lights moments away to come on. Some of the drivers getting a bit enthusiastic. We're still a few seconds away from the lights even coming on. Don't want to blow your engine just yet, but you know, whatever works, I suppose. Whatever floats your boat, you are more than welcome to go and rev your engine, I suppose. Yeah. Right then, Stevenson on pole as the lights come on. It's time to go racing here at Spa, or at Donington, should I say. Race 1. It is lights out. We are underway. It's not a great start there for Maxi Younger. Lots of wheel spin from the team boss of Younger GP. Artin Eamon gets a good launch. Stevenson, though, will have the inside line down into turn 1. He's got a lovely view of some scaffolding heading through there. Neiman is still challenging to the outside. Jaap Wagenvoort got away very, very well. And Neiman now, oh, this could be very, very brave if he tries to the inside of the Craner curves. Wow, R2 Neiman neck and neck with Stevenson. Nothing to separate the pair of them. But as they carry on now through the old hairpin and on the blast, 3 wide. Wagenvoort has been hung out to dry there by the Younger GP teammates there. Now Stevenson and Neiman still side by side. Brilliant racing on the opening lap, almost banging wheels, the pair of them, as they head through now. A big sweeping right-hander. Neiman using all of his ability. He will have the inside line into the chicane. Is further back. We see drivers jostling for position. R2 Neiman will surely get the lead. Indeed, he does get the lead. Fantastic stuff from the flying Finnish driver. Into the lead of the race he goes. Stevenson now under pressure from teammate Barbary, but he's trying a lunge to the inside. Neiman slams the door in his face. He has got into the lead. He is not giving it up yet. 18 minutes left to run in this race. A 20-minute race, and then the checkered flag flies. R2 Neiman will lead the opening lap here at Donington. What can Stevenson do? Younger GP, 2, 3, 4. Stevenson, Barbary, Younger. Although Barbary and Younger look like they're about to swap places as up the inside there. Oh, very, very close between their teammates. Oh, and off track though goes Barbary. And that will give a run to team boss Maxi Younger, who's going to have to go the long way around at the Craner curves. This is brilliant racing here at Donington. Through goes Maxi Younger, almost touching team boss and teammate on the run through the old hairpin. Nothing to separate the two Dallara F317 machines. Now, as I head through Neiman and Stevenson, while these two are fighting, starting to bolt away up the front. Neiman doing a great job at the moment, trying to bolt, trying to extend that gap from the man who has been dominant in this series so far, currently residing in P2. Maxi Younger as well hasn't had that much practice coming into this race. He'll be looking for a strong performance in both races. Currently P3, so that's great for him. Jaap Wagenvoort gets through Thomas Barbary as well. I think Barbary may have made a little mistake as Wagenvoort locks the left front, heading through the hairpin. That'll give Barbary a run into the final hairpin, but he is going to have to go the long way around into the outside line. Looks like we may have had an incident further back in the pack as well, as we got an incident here as well. Banging wheels. Barbary off the track. That means that Wagenvoort is up into 4th place. Not sure that Barbary will be too happy with that one. Neiman and fastest lap of the race on the second tour, 119.642. Again, cars heavy with fuel at this time. Oh, Barbary gets it all out of shape. Coming through the opening corner, manages to hold it. There is Kevin Vanet now, who may be looking for some of the Frenchmen as they now come into the old hairpin. Vanet has kept his nose clean in the early part of the race. Barbary pushing maybe a bit too hard, maybe just overdriving the car a little bit, but Vanet fancies a go on his fellow countrymen as they now on the run up the short crest and into the difficult corner that is Coppice. A very, very tricky turn indeed. And now Vanet, though, he's lost out on a little bit of time. Neiman is 2 seconds clear of Stevenson up the front of the pack as it stands. Younger a second away from Stevenson as well. Vanet very hard through the chicane. Alex, though, what a start there for R2 Neiman. After a lap of side-by-side racing with your pole sitter, he's currently sitting pretty at the front and trying to bolt away. Brilliant stuff from the Finn.
Yeah, so impressive. Stevenson had the inside line for the old hairpin on lap 1, and I thought, well, Niemanen's had a go. He's tried to go for the lead. He's lost it, and now Stevenson's gonna take it and then drive off. But yeah, Nieminen just kept his nose in there the whole time, stayed alongside as long as he could, and then it really did pay off, getting in front through the chicane in sector 3, and yeah, taking the lead now with a 1.5 second gap as well. As I think, big slide on entry there. 1.5 second gap as well that he's built up is not too bad. 15 minutes to go here, but yeah, he's doing a great job at the moment. Just going back to Thomas Barbary as well, when we were watching him on board through turn 1, just as he went a little wide, I was about to say, he looks so tentative. Oh, as we're watching him here, there, another big slide as he goes up the hill here. The car, I don't know if he has damage from contact, but the car is just so oversteer. He's so nervous. You can see it just washing out wide. He's been so gentle to not get any oversteer, and he's basically understeering because he just can't turn in enough. And then when he does, the rear just goes. Does not look a very nice race car to drive at all at the moment for Thomas.
No, not a lot of confidence in the rear tyre as we see a plane taking off in the background. Of course, there is an airport right next to Donington. Used to be a car track here as well, but those warehouses that you see in the background, they now exist on top of said car track. That going round, that's the Groot that's gone round. As Nieminen sets the fastest lap of the race, a little spin, a little pirouette coming out of the penultimate corner, manages to go again as the people on board that plane will get a lovely view of some racing action down below. R2 Nieminen, though, continues to lead the way, 1.1 seconds as he heads through the Craner curves. What can Stevenson do? 2 race wins last time at Spa. I'll have to wait and see what he's got in his locker this time. Again, typically Stevenson is a bit stronger in the first race. According to his stat sheet, he's out of the 5 wins that he's had this season, 3 of them have come in race 1. So I have to wait and see how it's all going to unfold. Of course, the last sprint series that we had, Max Younger ended up winning that title, but that was in the VRC Formula Lithium, the take on a Gen 2 Formula E car. We're now back into virtual petrol-powered machines with the Dallara F317, a car which isn't used anywhere in global motorsport anymore. It's been phased out after a good 10 long years at the top of the Formula 3 game as Vannet locks the inside front slightly, heading into the hairpin. He's still looking down. Thomas Barbary still filling the mirrors of his fellow countrymen in front. And as I say that, Tokyo Drift from Kevin Vannet. Brilliant save there. Just locked the rear, it seemed. Or just something went wrong. Maybe the diff locked coming into the corner, but he's managed to catch it with a hell of a power slide coming through there. You're getting a lovely view of the nearby power plant as well in the background. Lots of lovely things to see around Donington in the countryside, not too far from the great city of Nottingham, Shottingham as it's known, because it's the capital of gun crime in the UK. Simply a lovely place to be if you fancy a day trip out. No slander to anybody who comes from Nottingham watching along here today. Thomas Barbary, though, he's now got a little bit of breathing room after that half spin from Vannet and those amazing car catching skills. Barbary, he just doesn't look that confident as he normally does. Again, sitting second in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. He's had a win and 3 second places and a whole lot of 4th places to his name as well. But round here, Donington, he just doesn't quite seem to have it nailed down. He's struggling to get the car rotated on the way into corners, and on the way out of corners, the car's rotating too much. So maybe, I don't know if it's a problem with the setup, or maybe he just can't quite get to grips with Donington Park. But still, Thomas Barbary currently running 5th place. It's not a bad result by any means. We'll have to wait and see what he can do over the remaining 11 minutes and 40 seconds in this race, running a lot of curb. I mean, Alex, you're the driver here. Can you kind of suss what's going on with Thomas Barbary? To me, it just seems he's not very confident in the car.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look very confident in the car, but then I don't know if I would be confident in a car like that. Like, I'm just watching, his lines, his steering, but through this fast chicane, the high-speed corner, he just doesn't really have the downforce in the high speed to keep the car, on the line he wants to. And then you can see there, on the exit, the car's just getting loose. Kind of has to be really tentative on the entry, and then the exit there, another little slide on the exits. It's just not a very comfortable car. I don't know if he's overworked the tyres, overheated the tyres, or got the pressures wrong in the first phase of the race, and it's just like they can see the understeer through that high-speed corner there, where most of the time you would just, you know, little chuck of the wheel and it would dart in there, a little Formula car like this. But yeah, Thomas is really struggling.
He is indeed very, very strange for the Frenchman. A great driver, not one we expect to be struggling. As Stevenson now gets a big kick of oversteer on the exit of the final corner as he continues his pursuit of R2 Niemann. On that last lap, he was faster by a tenth of a second or so. So maybe the gap's starting to come down. It's been hanging around about a second all a while as Stevenson. Wow, well, a little bit too much commitment.
I thought he was off. I thought he was going round then. That was a really impressive save.
We've seen some great displays of car control here in race 1, and we're only 10 minutes into tonight's racing action. Unbelievable stuff here, and he's off onto the grass again. Stevenson is pushing very hard. I'll have dirty tyres coming through here, so we need to be careful. Goodness me, Stevenson leaving nothing on the table. That is 110%, but it has cost him about a second this lap. Just pushing a bit too hard, maybe overdriving the car a little bit. A real shame there for him, but with just under 10 minutes left to go in the session, I'm sure he'll have the time to try and get the hammer down, you know, refocus, regroup, and try and get onto the back of Niemann, who's looking very, very strong up the front at the moment. No mistakes, no errors, just hitting his marks and absolutely going for it. Great stuff from the Finn. Maxi Junger doing a great job in P3 as well, as Jaap Wagenvoort runs very wide. Coming out of the final corner, that's really going to compromise him coming down the front straight, and that gives Thomas Barbary time to, you know, focus ahead once again on Wagenvoort. The problem with these F317 cars, they've only got small tyres, so you do dip a wheel into the grass, and that is a dirty, dirty tyre for quite some time. It takes a long time to, you know, scrub all of the dirt off it. Barbary once again, maximum commitment, leaving nothing on the table as the Frenchman. Every corner around here is basically 5th or 6th gear. It's just flat out in this car. Misses the apex ever so slightly. Rear of the car once again kicking out for the Frenchman. Yeah, just really struggling with the rear of the car. It's just not, it's not connected the way you want it. There's too much grip on the way into corners. On the way out of corners, there's not enough grip for Barbary, which is very, very bizarre as he bounces his way over the curbs. Thankfully, we're in sim racing, so no damage to his spinal column that time around. And of course, we hope that no one does get any damage to their spinal column sim racing, because that would not be ideal, as Barbary once again a little bit out of shape on the exit of the hairpin. He just needs to be a little bit more gentle on the throttle, perhaps a little bit more aggressive on the application of the throttle, but then smoother on the way out of corners. It's a delicate balance, and he's driving one of these Dallara F317 cars here at Donington. They are putting on a fantastic display for us all. And now Wagenvoort is starting to be caught by Barbary, as that is Snodjager. The track, he did not qualify, started in P12, and he's been unfortunately encountering problems ever since. He's very sensibly getting out of the way, letting everyone go through. And yeah, great stuff there from Snodjager, not to make his way back onto the track. In my first ever sim race, which was a Formula Trout race, someone crashed into me because they rejoined in a silly way. And that was definitely their fault, and I hold them accountable for that. I won't name any names, and I don't think they do much sim racing anymore anyway. But I've never forgiven them deep down. Back on board with Thomas Barbary. He's definitely caught back up to Wagenvoort on this lap. Flames spitting out of the rear of that Dallara. Of course, powered by a Mercedes engine, these cars. And now Barbary much, much later on the brakes. A little bit too late on the brakes. But Wagenvoort knows exactly what to do. Just doesn't quite turn in as hard as he needs to. Hangs Barbary out to dry. So both of their runs off the corners are compromised. Wagenvoort is a great, great defensive. And once again, Barbary will have to sit behind for another lap as they cross the line this time. But can he maybe make a move through the crater curves? We've seen some heroics down through that section of the track as well, which is quite simply some of the best portions of racetracks that you will find anywhere in the British Isles. Absolutely phenomenal flying through the right and then the left. And oh, wow, aggressive from Wagenvort on the defense. He does not want to give up that P4 as they fly out of the old hairpin. Barbary now to the inside. It's going to have to go the long way around at the right-hander. Surely this can't go. Wow, what a move by Thomas Barbary. It's not over yet, though. Wagenvort has the inside line, but he gives up the place. Brilliant, brilliant racing from Thomas Barbary. It looks like, Alex, he's managed to get on top of those issues.
Yeah, that was a really impressive move, you know, around the outside of that corner. Especially with the car behaving the way it has. I had a bit of flashbacks there. It's the last time I was here in this car, actually. I remember I was racing a driver that was a little bit over my skill level. It was Jack Smith, back when I think he won the championship that season as well. I was really making an effort, like, oh, I'm not going to let him past. I'm going to race this guy. And where Thomas just went around Yap then, I tried to do exactly the same thing, hold it around the outside, and the car just washed out wide. Into the grass I went. He went through, lost 3 positions or something, yeah. So for Thomas to hold on to the car through there, make the move, make the overtake through there, really impressive stuff.
Yeah, great stuff there from Thomas Barbary up into P4. I think R2 Niemann made a mistake on that last lap. He's dropped back a little bit. Stevenson now within 1.5 seconds of the fin. But Niemann looking calm and collected, a really smooth driving style for Niemann, which around here really, really benefits. And you can just see very, very fine, smooth inputs. Really just, you know, driving the way he needs to drive this circuit, which is absolutely brilliant from him. Getting a lovely shot of his rear wing and not a lot else, as you see Stevenson briefly appear on the rear wing. And as he comes down into the penultimate corner, Stevenson is now starting to charge a bit, I believe. As Niemann gets a little bit out of shape through the hairpin. And yeah, it could be an interesting one with 4 minutes left to go. Stevenson is suddenly starting to close that gap right down as they come through to start yet another lap. It really wasn't a good lap, that one from Niemann, in the 1:19.314. Stevenson in the 18.9 region. The gap is now back under a second. Stevenson just needs not to push too hard. We'll have to wait and see what he's going to do, as that's the group off the road. He's already been encountering problems today. Let's hope he doesn't get beached. Looks like he will manage to find his way back onto the tarmac. A shame for Leon de Groot. He will fall further back, currently in P11. R2 Niemann's teammate not having the same successes that the Flying Finn is in that 11th machine, but R2 Niemann is still flying out the front. Stevenson, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to catch him with 3 minutes left on the clock, as that is Tim Draper who's had an off there. The British driver having a problem. That looks to be coming through the crane of curves. That's Jaap Wagenvort off the road. Where's Barbary? Oh, Barbary and Wagenvort have come together.
I think Barbary must have lost the car. Wagenvort's gone wide in avoidance, and yeah, Barbary's kept it going but lost the position. Wagenvort did a good job to, you know, stay in a straight line after going on the grass like that.
Yeah, Barbary has been struggling all evening with the balance of his Dallara. So we'll have to wait and see in race 2 if he's able to improve any places. He's currently in a no man's land. He's 3 seconds even back from Wagenvort. Ran it behind 2.5 off of him. So he'll just be looking to bring it home in 5th place now. We will get one more lap after this, I believe. Possibly 2. We'll have to wait and see what the timing board is saying. Stevenson, though, starting to close back in once again, as that is Leon de Groot off the road. More problems. Yeah, more problems there for Leon de Groot, and out of the race as well. He's teleported back to the pit lane. His evening is done in race 1 anyway. He can now sit and recover in the waiting for race 2. Antoine Bunn, meanwhile, chasing down Radocha. The Frenchman doing a good job at the moment. He's had a fairly okay season for the most part. He's only competed in 4 races, one of which he didn't start, but he did take a podium in the second race at Spa last time. So there's clearly a driver within Antoine Bunn, and the results have been consistent points finishes, but here at Donington, seemingly not quite going his way, currently in P8. Donington is just one of those tracks, though, where sometimes things don't click for certain drivers. It's a very, very unique circuit. You know, you can talk about, oh, it's all, you know, high speed, medium speed corners, yes, but the way you have to drive around here is very much unlike where we were last week at Spa, for example. Steven Stevenson still a second behind R2 Nieminen up the front of the pack. Nieminen, this will be the penultimate lap of the race. We will just about get one more lap in it, I believe. It's going to be very,
Hard to
very
say.
tight.
It was around 120 as they crossed the line, and it is around 120 for a lap. They've been doing, you know, mid-19s, so it depends how fast this last lap is for these guys.
We'll have to wait and see. It could be checkered flag. It could be one more tour. All is to play for in race 1 at Donington. Who's going to stand on the top step of the podium? Will it be the Flying Finn, R2 Nieminen? Will it be Steven Stevenson to make it 3 race wins in a row? Only time will tell. Will it be checkered flag this time? Will it be one more tour of the Donington Park GP circuit? One more turn to go, and we don't know if that's going to be it. If that's going to be the checkered flag or not. Coming around the final corner now, are they going to get one more tour? Yeah, we are going to get one more lap in with a second left to go on the clock. Final lap of the race then. One more chance for Steven Stevenson. He was 0.3 faster on that last lap. He's been quicker later into the race. And if he can keep it on the black stuff, he may, just may, be able to have a go on R2 Nieminen. We'll have to wait and see. Maxi Younger is 8 seconds back. He's going to try and hold on to that podium place from Jaap Wagenvoort. Off the road a little bit goes Stevenson in an early upshift as well. Not sure if that's going to help his momentum too much as they fly through the right-hander. Very, very nice there from Stevenson. If a little bit wide on the corner exit. You can see he's gaining on R2 Nieminen. But is he close enough come the end of the lap? Is it too little, too late for the championship leader? Can R2 Nieminen hold on to take what will be a fantastic win? His 3rd of the season and his first race since the second round at Silverstone. We'll have to wait and see as they come into the penultimate corner now. Can Stevenson try some heroics into the final corner? I do not think he's going to be close enough, but we'll wait and see. On the run into the final hairpin, R2 Nieminen then is going to hold on to make it another race win, his 3rd of the series in just his 5th start. What a win there for R2 Nieminen, and Steven Stevenson gave it all he could, but just ran out of time at the end. Your championship leader will come in with 2nd. Maxi Younger, a great return after a round out. He'll finish in P3. Jaap Wagenvoort will take a P4 that he will be delighted with. The Dutchman with a great drivers. Thomas Barbary does hold on for P5 in the end. And again, a disappointing race for the Frenchman. As Vanet, his fellow countryman, he'll bring it home in P6. Can Antoine Bon find a way through on Radocha, who's run a little bit wide on the exit of the final corner. It's not going to be enough, though. Radocha will finish in P7. Antoine Bon will finish in 8th. Tim Draper looks set to bring it home in P9, unless Cyprian Stoyan can magically find a second through the final corner. I don't think he's going to be able to. So Draper will finish in P9, Stoyan in P10, and Snowdejager finishes 11th. He was a lap down. And De Groot, unfortunately, we did lose as a DNF in that race. That's it for race 1. What a race there for R2 Nieminen. Had Steven Stevenson covered on all aspects, and Stevenson, unfortunately, just ran out of time a little bit there towards the end. Maxi Younger as well. Great run from him to bring it home in a podium place after missing the last round at Spa. That's your race 1 then. R2 Nieminen then, Alex. Great drive from him, a great start. Him and Stevenson, well, they've got to come through the field for the reverse grid race 2, but could be very interesting to see how they fare.
Yeah, that was really calm race from Nieminen. You know, did nothing he didn't need to do, made the move on lap 1 and then just cruised from there. The lap times were good, it was consistent. You know, Stevenson dropped back a bit, got closer, dropped back, but Nieminen just kept his head down, took the win at the end of the race. Just want to mention Maxi Younger. I feel a bit mean there. I don't think we followed him at all during the whole race. He had a very, very quiet race, you know, taking 3rd on the first lap, or the second lap, I think, maybe, and then just cruising from there. I don't think we even watched him once complete a single lap on the cameras, but well done to him for finishing P3, you know, on his return here after missing the few rounds, as you say.
Yeah, great stuff there from Maxi Younger on this fine Sunday evening. Great stuff there. We now wait for the drivers to head out onto the grid for race 2. As there we see the virtual pit crews. Tim Draper's gone out of his way to even give his mechanic an overall, which is very nice to see. And no, the virtual mechanic's looking rather forlorn. You know, this is a Assetto Corsa. It's getting on a bit now as this sim, as well as it holds up, and you can kind of tell from the character models, just the expressionless, you know, mystical wondering. You know, that man's there in a McLaren GT3 jacket. He's turned up at the wrong race. That man probably hasn't seen his wife in about 5 years, and yeah, these guys, yeah, despite the great racing on track, seemingly don't really care and seem rather sad at the whole ordeal. But we're very happy in the commentary booth. We're getting ready to go racing for race number 2. We'll be making our way onto the grid in a few moments' time for another 20 minutes of racing with a reverse grid as well, which will be fantastic to enjoy. And you can see there a lot of people stood around here at Donington, which is great to see. The virtual fans showing up in all of their glory. We've got a few people on top of the pit wall. A few people in the grandstands as well. We've got some virtual marshals there. Big thank you to them. We couldn't go racing without the virtual marshals flying our virtual yellow flags. That man does not look well, to be brutally honest. Oh, there's a camera microphone there. I've not noticed that in a Assetto course before. Great. Yeah, that's really cool, actually. I've not seen the camera microphones in a Assetto Corsa on the camera stands. The crowd loving the action here. All of them in the exact same pose, hand in the pockets. Distinct lack of diversity. All white men, it would appear, in the crowd as well. Formula Trout, of course, we do absolutely advocate for diversity. We are big fans of the whole diversity thing, but clearly not here at the crowd. It is a very much a male-dominated affair here at Virtual Donington. Looks like someone's brought a Toyota Prius in the background. Great to see there. And there's is that a VW Scirocco there? Very nice.
It's a Golf, I think. Mark 5.
Oh, no, you are right. Yeah, it's a Golf. The 5-door Golf. I do apologise there. Under the BMW banner as well. Maybe trying to get some shots in over at BMW. Well, then, cars are now back on the grid. The marshals seemingly don't care because they're facing in the wrong direction. But we are getting ready to go racing for the reverse grid race. It's Snoddy Jaeger on pole. And, no, it's not Snoddy Jaeger on pole. I do apologise. We'll figure out who it is. I'm not entirely sure myself. I think it may. Yeah, it is Snoddy.
Cyprian, I think.
Is it Cyprian Storin on pole?
Yes, in the CRG car.
It is Cyprian Storin. There you go. Shows how it's not just the marshals not paying attention. Clearly, it's us here in the commentary box as well. It's a Cyprian Storin then on pole. It's time to go racing for race number 2. It's another 20-minute race, hopefully. Just as good as race number 1. The red lights are on. It is lights out and we are underway for the reverse grid race 2. A good start there from Cyprian Storin, facing attacks from all around him. DeGroot having a look to the outside there, but unable to quite find a way through. As there goes Draper, Draper and Storin come together at the exit. So one around, they both go into the gravel. Hopefully they're both able to keep moving. It's Thomas Barry. Stevenson's already up to 5th place. What's the point? Surely going to be 4th place. Surely it is 4th place with a majestical move around the outside of the old hairpin. The UGP cars all falling over each other. Yap Wagenvall can't find a way through. R2 Neiman has been held up in the back. Stevenson back together. Oh my goodness me. Wow, was that Stoyan who just missed that there? As round goes Vanet. Or Snoddy Jaeger who just missed that incident. Great avoiding action there. Right then, so Stevenson now falls back behind R2 Neiman following that contact, but he's going to have a look to the inside of our race 1 winner. Bang! Stevenson off into the wall! From Stevenson up and into the air he goes. That's got to be some real damage for the UGP car. He won't be happy with R2 Neiman, and Antoine Bum will be delighted with the fact that he's managed to hold on to the lead at the end of a chaotic opening tour of the Donington Park circuit. Here in race 2 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Is Stevenson able to keep going? I believe he is. That car, though, surely has to have some damage on board. We'll have to wait and see. And oh, yeah, look at that. That thing is tracking like there's no tomorrow. Stevenson is going to continue, but in terms of competing for the race win, is surely down and out because... And look at the front wing as well, looking rather crooked. Oh dear, Stevenson. Maybe a complaint to the stewards going in against R2 Nieminen after this race. Yeah, Wagenvort currently P4 chasing down Radocha, but he's got Maxi Younger behind him. Thomas Barbary, amongst all of that, has managed to find his way into P2. For a man who was really struggling in race 1, this reverse grid race could be paying him dividends. He's got Antoine Bunn ahead of him. Wagenvort trying to attack Radocha, trying to keep Maxi Younger behind as it stands. Oh, here comes Maxi Younger in the slipstream. Wagenvort thinks about going defensive, decides against it. Only really one line through the chicane. And Wagenvort actually really strong through there. Younger's not going to be able to try the dive bomb down into the hairpin. And they're all running slightly wide. That was Radocha in front. That held up Wagenvort. That might allow Maxi Younger a go. Now we see your race leader, Antoine Bunn. On his tail is the Frenchman, Thomas Barbary, the two compatriots up the front at the moment, but there is no love lost on a racetrack. It doesn't matter what country you're driving for, it all is about you once you're out there and the lights are out. Barbary doing a great job at the moment. Set the fastest lap that last time by a 1:19 and all over the back of Antoine Bunn. Can he find his way through though? We'll have to wait and see. There's still 16 minutes and 45 seconds left to run in this race. So plenty of time to Barbary to make the move. He could easily just sit there and be patient unless he feels like he's being held up by Bunn in front. But the guys behind aren't exactly closing in at the current time. Antoine Bunn doing a fantastic effort at the moment. Yet to win a race in the sprint series. It did take second in race 2 at Spa last time out. He would love in just his 6th race start in the Formula Trout sprint series to be on the top step of the podium, as that's really wide. Yeah, Wagenvort, that's going to allow Maxi Younger through, and that's going to allow R2 Nieminen through. That's well, maybe R2 Nieminen on Maxi Younger. No, he's going to have to go the long way round. Actually, that's Jaap Wagenvort trying to have a go on the fin as well. But your race 1 winner will hold on to 5th place for the time being. Wagenvort smartly makes the decision to not attack into the final corner. It's not really an overtaking opportunity into there. Antoine Bunn as we start the next lap. Still holding on from Barbary, who's just 0.2 of a second behind now. Still struggling with the rear of his car though as he twitches his way out of the first turn. And now the Craner curves. Right, left, flat out, 6th gear, bang down 1 gear, flat out through the old hairpin we go again. In real life, that corner is a lot slower. But for whatever reason in sim racing, it is so fast and so tricky and will spit you out if you get it wrong. Bunn holding on the short and brief and very rapid climb up the hill. Barbary definitely being held up into there. He had to actually hit the brakes a little bit, jab on the brakes. That could have been a defensive move by Bunn, maybe just to hold him off onto the straight. But here comes Thomas Barbary with the slipstream. Is he going to have a look to the inside? No. Decides this time, almost running off into the gravel there. Barbary's playing it smart though. Radocha behind isn't gaining on him. He's got all the time in the world, but he's decided that time is now. Dive bomb locking up. Thomas Barbary leads the race. What a move from the Frenchman on his fellow countryman to inherit the lead. Maxi Younger is now up into P2 with 40 minutes, 35 seconds left to go. That was a great move from Thomas Barbary, Alex.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be able to, chuck it down the inside there. Bunn went defensive, and yeah, Barbary still, went to the inside, got the move done, held onto the position as well. So very well done. And now he's just going to have to focus on building that gap for the rest of the race. Maybe Bunn can stay with him. Don't rule him out yet. He's only dropped back a couple of tenths after he's been overtaken, but we've seen Barbary struggling with the car in the last round, the last race as well. But yeah, Barbary's going to want to start building that gap to his teammate Younger, building the gap to the Toro Rosso driver with Nieminen as well. So see how the race pans out. Nieminen right on the gearbox of Maxi Younger though at the moment as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it's gonna go, even shall I say, another round of this race. Up to Nieminen then, having a little look to the inside of Maxi Younger. He's not close enough to give a challenge into the chicane, but just trying to fill the mirrors of the driver in front as they head down into the penultimate corner. And Younger, big lock up, very wide, Nieminen through. Big mistake there from Maxi Younger. He won't be happy with that one, the German driver. Magical Maxi, as I used to call him. Well, looks like he wasn't able to pull the rabbit out of the hat on that one.
Yeah, I think Bun made a mistake through the chicane there, and Maxi, you know, got a little close to the car in front, to the Impact Blue car, just locked that front brake into that hairpin, went wide, allowed Niemanen through. Might be able to come back at him though.
Yeah, well, Maxi Younger, you know, he's been around for a long time in a Seto Corsa. He isn't exactly getting any younger, and well, maybe just needs to rediscover some of that talent that we all know is deep down inside. He's still doing a great job, don't get me wrong, but I know he hasn't done a lot of practice for this race either, but he's not exactly taking it to the max of his abilities right now. As Niemanen in front, showing us the true R2 of racing, as he's up into third place. Antoine Bun in P2. Barbary is a second and a half off the road now. Quite frankly, a barbaric destroying of the drivers behind. Oh, the puns know no end. I'm on a roll now, Alex. Please stop me before I get arrested. Antoine Bun then holding on to that second place at the moment, but Niemanen is just behind and getting held up. That's allowed Maxi Younger to try and get onto the back of your race one winner. But at the moment, they're unable to find a way through the Frenchman. As Niemanen now tries to get the drive out of the final corner, he could be looking for a run through the crater curves. It's fastest lap for Niemanen, a 1:19.154. A twitch there from the rear of Bun. And Niemanen actually not that strong on the exit of the opening corner. So maybe he won't be challenging through here. Looks like he won't be, but if he gets a good exit to the old hairpin, maybe, just maybe, we're on board with Maxi Younger on the Younger GP cam as we fly out of the old hairpin. Oh, Niemanen's looking to the outside. Bun's going defensive. Niemanen's going to have to try the switchback, but can't quite get the car all the way to the inside. He has a look, decides against it. Now Maxi Younger on the back of both of them. Both of them could be losing places as a big twitch from Niemanen. That's going to give Maxi Younger the run coming down into the chicane, but he's going to have to go the long way around. Decides against it, hits the brakes later. Niemanen nails the chicane. But Maxi Younger is still all over his gearbox. Maxi Younger, big dive once again, a bit too late. Once again, a big lockup. Once again, Niemanen will hold on to the position. That's twice now that Maxi Younger's tried a big dive bomb into the hairpin, and it's not quite worked out in his favour. Niemanen, he's just about holding on at the moment, but these guys, they want to be attacking Bun. They want to be going for second place. The Frenchman right now is being given a little bit of breathing room as we're approaching halfway through this race. Barbary now almost 3 seconds up the road, 2.5 seconds it is. He is flying away up the front. He's got a lot of pace in this race, it would appear, so whatever issues he was struggling with in race one, he seems to have got the hang of. But as it stands, it's Barbary from Bun from Niemanen in your top three. Maxi Younger just behind them, and Jack Wagenveld not too far behind in P5 as well. Back on board with Maxi.
This is the it's the interesting dynamic that this second race gives us. You know, like Bun maybe isn't as fast as Niemanen, maybe isn't as fast as Younger, but he's fast enough to kind of keep it on track. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes at a track like this, it's really difficult for the cars to get past. You can see R2 looking to the inside there through the chicane, but nothing he can do, and it just bunches up the cars together behind, allows Younger to keep up with R2 if maybe normally he'd be pulling away. And yeah, you can see R2 still isn't close enough to make a move here as Maxi gets really close under braking into the hairpin.
Yeah, Maxi is looking for a way through. Can't quite find it though at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. And as we continue to fly around, 9 minutes left and a few more tours of Donington Park left to go. As to the outside, Niemanen locked up, runs wide, Niemanen through. This is going to run Maxi Younger run through the credit curves as well, but he's going to have to look left and right because Bun is sat right in the middle of the racetrack. Niemanen's going to have to try and defend from Bun as well. Oh my goodness me, these guys are crashing. Round goes Bun, keeps it out of the wall, but does not keep it out of the gravel, and a great race comes undone for Antoine Bun in just a few short corners. What a shame for the Frenchman. He will be able to keep going. That promotes Maxi Younger up to second. He can now start putting the pressure on R2 Niemanen in front. There's Jaap Wagenveld still on the tail end of this battle as well. What a shame for Antoine Bun there, Alex, but it just shows how easy it is to make a mistake and have it all go wrong.
Yeah, I think, you know, Bun was running in the clean air. Barbary had built that little bit of a gap, and Barbary was used to just running, you know, on his own, not really having to deal with any dirty air from cars in front. He made that mistake at turn 1 with R2 putting the pressure on him, and then the first time he goes through the old hairpin, you know, just not used to following another car, that extra, well, the less downforce he has from following R2 in front just sends him a little wide. He got on the curb and, yeah, 360 degrees round, nearly into the wall, but did manage to stay out of it. But, yeah, race kind of ruined for him, all the way down in P10 now, was running P2.
Yeah, real shame for him, but that is how it goes, unfortunately. That is sim racing. Sometimes mistakes happen, sometimes it does not go your way. And still, we move on. Life continues onwards, and the series continues onwards as well. Thomas Barbary, he's got a nearly 4-second lead now with 7 minutes left to go. It's been a fine race for the Frenchman, who's rediscovered his fascinating form here in the reverse grid race. And can Nieminen start to narrow down that gap, or can Junger find a way through it? That's the group going off the road. That's coming out onto the back straight. Maybe just ran a little bit wide there. Doesn't look like he's had a spin or any of the like. And he will lose out and fall down the order just a little bit. Stevenson, currently P6. We haven't talked much about him in this race after his big crash earlier. He is still going, currently in P6, which is a mammoth effort from him, considering the damage that he has. Back on board with Maxi Junger now. Fastest personal best there from Maxi, 19.235. That seems to say on my screen. He has closed the gap up to R2 Nieminen, so around half a second. So he's getting ever closer, as that's Antoine Button, who's gone round once again in the final corner. Back on board with magical Maxi Junger, as he flies his way out of the old hairpin, and now into the tricky right-hander. The crowd loving the racing here. You can hear the roar as the cars go past. And as they... Oh, Maxi Junger! Wowee! That was a little bit hairy coming through there. What a save, though, from multi-time Formula Trout champion. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from Maxi Junger to hold that car in a straight line and keep it on the black stuff. Just broke away as he threw it into the corner. Now then, still chasing down Nieminen. Barbary, the gap is starting to be carved into by Nieminen, but as it stands, R2 is going to run out of time with 5 minutes left to go at the rate that he's closing in. Thomas Barbary, if he keeps on the black stuff, is set for his first race win since race number 2 at Silverstone in a round 2 many weeks ago. Let's follow our Nieminen now, coming through the crane of curves. Doing a good job at the moment. I'm sure he'll be delighted.
A little mistake made. Maxi dropped back, look, 2 seconds down now, so that he had that little moment going onto the back straight, and that's allowed Wagenvort to get right up behind him, just 6/10 separating those two now. This is a battle we've seen before. Maybe we'll see fireworks yet again between these two. Yeah, maybe Wagenvort fancies a podium. We'll have to wait and see what he's got in his locker as they make their way onto the back straight. 4 minutes and 23 seconds left to run in this race. Again, the second the clock hits 0, checker flag is out. There's no +1 rule. It's no, if the lead is crossing the line and there's 1 second left, we'll throw the checkered flag. It's clock hits 0, that is it. No matter where you are, the next time you reach the start-finish line, your race is done and dusted. Wagenvort is closing up as... Oh, Snoddyjager has gone for a spin, and was that a touch there for Barbary, I think? Coming through, Snoddyjager's had a really rough day today. Really just not been feeling it, really, has he, Alex? No, a few mistakes from him, which is a shame. He's just gets across the road. I don't think his clutch is working quite properly there as he crawls across the track there. Yeah, a few mistakes from him, unfortunately, and yeah, running P12 at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. Big gap to the car in front as well, so short of someone else making a mistake, I think that might be where he's going to finish the race, fortunately for him. Ooh, Thomas gets a big 4-wheel slide there.
Yeah, Neiman and the gap now down to 2 seconds. It was 3.5 seconds moments ago. So Barbary just a little mistake creeping in there, but hopefully nothing too serious as Wagenbort, he's thinking about having a move. And we'll have to wait and see if he's able to. Oh, well, he Vargan thought about having a move, but decided against it.
That was terrible.
Oh, the terrible puns. They don't stop. I'm on a roll, Alex. I'm on a roll. But yeah, he thought about having a move, heading as they both run very wide into the penultimate hairpin. This could be the final battle that we're going to be looking at because Stevenson is on the back of Radocha, it must be said, but Vargavort looks like he's going to try and take Maxi Younger. They're going to be side by side coming out of the final corner here. But Younger is going to be able to hold on all the time being. Vargavort looks to the inside. Once again, Vargan thought about it. Unable to make the gap appear that time. A little bit of a lock-up on the inside front as well. Means Maxi Younger can just take another breath as they fly through the Craner curves and into the old hairpin. So fast through there in these cars. Much faster than they actually used to run. Back in the British F3 days, when British F3 used to be a thing and they used to come here in these cars. Yeah, they did not go that fast through the old hairpin. Put it like that, shall I? These things are absolutely rapid in Assetto Corsa. We've got 1 minute and 40 left on the clock. I believe we should have about 2 laps left to run, not including this one. So Barbary will come to the line shortly. I believe we will get 2 laps in.
I don't think we will.
Oh, no, this could be. Yeah, this is going to be the final lap this time then, okay. So it's the opposite end of the spectrum to last race, where it was, are we going to get another lap in? This time we know we're not getting another lap in. R2 Niemanen was a second faster on that previous tour. Maxi Younger still under big pressure, checking his mirrors. Having a look back, trying to put the defensive on Wagenbort. These guys are 2 seconds off the pace at the moment because they're fighting. That is Maxi Younger running very wide, but Wagenbort was already looking so much to the inside that he couldn't get it.
I think they touched. I can see on the thing here that reports a touch, and I think Wagenbort backed off because of the touch. You know, didn't want to make the move with the contact. But at the front, last lap, Niemanen's just 5/10 behind Barbary here.
Is it time for last lap heroics from race 1 winner R2 Niemanen? We saw a sweep last weekend in Stevenson winning race 1 and race 2. Can Niemanen follow it up? The flying fin is all over the back of Barbary, but only has a few corners left to go as Wagenbort has had a problem. Yeah, Wagenbort drops back into P6 behind Radocha and Stevenson. Can Niemanen find a way through at the final corner? Can Thomas Barbary hold on for what will be his second win of the season? Coming to the final corner now, Niemanen can't make it through. For the first time since race 2 at Stevenson, the Frenchman Thomas Barbary is going to take the checkered flag and win here at Donington Park. There we see Stevenson looking for a way through on Radocha. He's not going to be able to find it. Maxi Younger will finish in P3. Radocha finishes a fantastic 4th. That's his best finish of the season so far. And Stevenson, he'll bring it home in 5th after that big crash earlier on. Yeah, Wagenbort, after that late mistake, he finishes P6. Vanet is 7th with Cipro and Stoy, and he crosses the line for 8th after starting from pole today. The Groot is 9th, and Antoine Bund, you've got to feel for the French. Finish P10. A big shame for him. Draper will be 11th, and Snoddy get once again a lap down in P12. That is it then for race number 2. Oh, and some teammates getting rather intimate there down at turn 1. Not going to question your methods, however you choose to celebrate, I suppose. Well, that's it then for race 2. That's the racing action done then for today. You can see the crowd is loving the action here, applauding the winners. Just cannot believe the absolute scenes that they have seen today. And, well, a big turnout here at Donington. The absolutely packed grandstands. As, you know, we get there's a lot of Volkswagen Golfs parked over there for some reason.
It's an Astra, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Astra,
I can't
Astra
really
GTC.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot of the same type of car parked in one area. Maybe they're having a car meet or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit of a weird place to do it. At the same time, I have had that before where there was an owners meeting at a circuit where we were racing. That was a bit awkward. Had someone walk through the commentary box. Don't like to think about that one. But that's about it then. For the racing action from today, we are going to get an interview with the one and the only magical Maxi Younger. Magical Maxi, welcome back to Formula Trout. That's a way to round off the day. A podium here at Donington. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. It seems like P3 is the extending good spot. P3 in quali, P3 race 1, P3 race 2. But that was really weird at the end there. I had initially in race 2 slowed down because I cut the chicane massively, and I sort of thought about it for 3 corners, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna keep this advantage. So I lifted off, and then hex. I don't know if that's what it's called in English. A hex key fell onto my pedal tray, right where the throttle is.
That's
and
not ideal.
Yeah, it kept messing with it. So I on the straights I had to sometimes lift off, take my foot off and kick the hex key out of the way, and it allowed Jaap to stay a lot closer than I would have liked. But he made a mistake, so I still managed to get P3. It's fine.
Yeah, great result for you and a great result for the team as well. Of course, Thomas picking up the race win in race number 2. Stevenson not having his greatest day, unfortunately, with that crash. But you must be pretty happy over at Younger GP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what could, not to sound arrogant, but I think the points advantage is quite big at this point. So it's been going really well. Obviously, Stevenson's demolished the field, including myself. So yeah, he's been doing super well. And yeah, also in race 2 as well. I tried to hold up R2 as much as possible so that he wouldn't catch Thomas, because I knew he had pace as well. But yeah, all went to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Great result for you, Maxi. Thank you very much for joining us, and yeah, great job.
Thanks for commentating.
Oh, my pleasure. Well, that was I was so excited that I accidentally managed to leave the commentary box. That was Maxi Younger speaking to us there. Great result for him and his team today. And well, Alex, as the day's racing comes to a close, a fantastic day of racing.
Yeah, we had different winners there to what we've seen at the past few rounds. You know, Stevenson not taking the win, which, you know, I'm sure he would have loved to. And I don't want to sound mean saying that it's nice to see someone else win, but it is nice to see someone else win. As Maxi says, the points gap is very large, but you know, it was a good day of racing. Everyone put on an impressive show. Shame for those that did get caught up in incidents. You know, Jaap on that last lap especially, just flipping out, you know, flying off the track nearly. Did recover to, I think, P6, not went too far off, but yeah, shame to see that, because that was a good battle that was underway throughout the whole race, basically. Shame for it to end like that, but yeah, good racing up and down the grid, and be glad to see everyone join us next week at, I don't remember what track we're at next week. Maybe you do.
Wow. Good to know that you know, the fantastic, wonderful Alex Cochrane doesn't even know the schedule
Imola.
for the tracks that we're going.
Imola.
Yes, we're going to Imola, Alex. Yeah, we're off to Imola next week. So again, another circuit that F3 cars do absolutely love. So thanks very much for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you there. And for now, take care and goodbye.